You want to start investing, but also don't know what to invest in? Well, ETFs, also known as exchange traded funds, can be a sick place to start. You instantly benefit from diversification without having to do hella research into hella different stocks. And as well as that, one of the most widely known ETFs averages an annual return rate of just under 10%. Make sure you stick around to the end for the perfect mix between ETFs and dividends, as well as one of the most important things that you will want to know whenever you invest into ETFs. Wagwarn people, welcome back. For those of you who don't already know, my name is Benje, I'm a business owner, and here I am to help you make more bread by sharing my own struggles, experiences and advice. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about ETFs. I'm going to be going over 4 of the hottest ETFs and some of my favorites at the moment. These ETFs are some of the best performing of recent times, but if you don't have a basic understanding of what an ETF is, then be sure to check out the video that I did fully explaining them before you continue watching this one. Alright, boom. So onto the first ETF, and it wouldn't be an ETF video without mentioning the good old S&P 500. The fund mirrors 500 of the best performing stocks in the US, including the likes of Apple, Google, Microsoft, and the more recently added Tesla. The ETF has averaged an annual return rate of just under 10% since its inception in 1926, and over the past year has seen growth of 33.53% in its stock price. On top of this, they even pay a dividend quarterly with a dividend yield of around 1.3%. So onto the second ETF I'm going to talk about today, and it's the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. From its name, it is pretty obvious what this ETF is all about and the kind of companies that it holds within it, but it does track the S&P Global Clean Energy Index. Unless you're living under a rock somewhere or just not paying attention to anything going on around you, you'll know that the majority of countries are trying to be cleaner and more sustainable. This includes many of them agreeing to try and reduce their net carbon emissions to 0 by 2050. The potential for not just this ETF but also this market as a whole is mad. There is hella room for growth, not just over the next few years, but over the next few decades. Some companies that the fund currently holds that you may be aware of include Plug Power, Siemens, and Hyundai Energy Solutions, as well as 80 others, and in the last year have a return rate of just under 50%. Just like the S&P 500, this is another ETF that I hold in my personal stocks and shares ISA. Yo, there's just too much room for growth to turn down. This market is going to be one of the biggest in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Moving on to the third ETF, we have another iShares fund, but this time it's the Electric Vehicle and Driving Technologies ETF. Once again, the name literally tells you all you need to know about the ETF, but it does track developed and emerging EV and driving tech companies. The EV sales market is predicted to continue to grow, with it being forecast that sales will go from 2.5 million in 2020 up to 31.1 million in 2030, a compound annual growth rate of 29%. This would give electric vehicles around 30% market share for all new car sales. The fund includes well-known holdings like Tesla, Samsung, Ford and Nvidia, as well as around 85 others. On top of this, over the past year the ETF has seen a sick growth of almost 70%. Last but therefore not least, we have ETF No.4, and it's the S&P Global Dividend Aristocrats ETF. If you've watched this channel before, you just know a little bit about me, then you'll know I love my dividends and having my drip turned on. So this is why this ETF is one of my favorites that I hold. I personally hold this ETF in my LISA, and just like the 2 previously mentioned ETFs, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It tracks the performance of the S&P Global Dividend Aristocrats Quality Income Index, giving you and me the best of all things dividends. The fund includes holdings such as ExxonMobil, GlaxoSmithKline and Seagate Technologies, and in total includes 97 different companies. The ETF pays a quarterly dividend with a yield of 3.32% and has seen a growth in its stock price of around 25% in the past year. With absolutely any investment, you need to do your own research and decide what you are going to purchase based off your own goals and plans. But this is particularly the case with ETFs, as depending on the platform that you buy them on, you may face different fees and different fee structures. Different ETFs have different fees, including but not limited to expense ratios and management fees. Just as a little example, one of the ETFs that I've mentioned in this video, or one of them that I personally hold, the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, has an expense ratio of 4.2%. This means that for every bag invested, you'll be paying £4.20 in fees. If you've enjoyed this video and want to learn about 5 of the best dividend stocks, be sure to check out this video. Love to everyone who's watched this far, and we will see you again soon.